So if you want to become a lawyer, you have to do the practical legal training, aka the PLT, and a part of the PLT is doing the oral assessment, which for me and most people I know is the scariest part of the PLT. Here are 3 preparation tips to help you with them. By the way, this is another episode of Law and Law School Unpacked and Unfiltered, where I either unpack or unfilter something in law. And today I'm going to do a little bit of both. First things first, I went to Leo Cusson Center of Law for my PLT, so maybe different to other PLT providers. I'm sure you'll still benefit from these. So first of all, the oral assessments are mainly one-on-one. So it would be between you and the person that is marking you. During the time when I did my PLT at Leo Cusson, it was always just one-on-one. But for example, if the oral assessment was like a negotiation or mediation, it would be me, another PLT student, and then the marker. So it'll be like 2. Regardless of who's in the room, you will need to prepare not a script. You are not preparing a script. It is a good idea to prepare some sort of notes, some pointers, some things that you have to say during that assessment, and some things that would be good to have. The reason why you don't want to do a script is because you cannot 100% anticipate how it's going to go. So the oral assessments are mainly things that you would do in real life. So a hearing, a mediation, a negotiation, a client interview. You obviously can't script everything with those stuff. That's why it's important to have some pointers, some notes that you can refer back to. Because you also want to try not to read word for word your notes the whole time. You still want to make sure that you maintain the important points that they also mark you on, like your eye contact. Sometimes your hand gestures, your communication. Can't be heavily relying on reading your notes word for word the entire time. Second thing is you need to prepare the more verbal side of things. And here's what I mean. Trust me, it's easy. You need to prepare your active listening skills, your communication skills. I forgot what this word is, but you repeat back what the other person said so they know that you understood what they're saying. I forgot the word for it. I'm like mind blanking. Regardless of if it's a hearing or a negotiation, mediation, client interview, what I said earlier, you don't want to rely heavily on your notes. Because with oral assessments, they look at, the things that you're actually literally saying, but they also look at how you communicate. That's why it's worth preparing those verbal skills as well, which is really, really easy to do. All you need to do is have a conversation with someone and practice that. No script, 100%. Last but not least, and I feel like I should have said this first, but you gotta look at the rubric. So you gotta look to see if they're mainly marking you based on the things that you're saying, like the words that you're saying, like they're marking you and like on how accurate you get the case law correct or the legislation, or if they're gonna mark you more towards your actual verbal skills. And the reason why you want to look at that first, so you can avoid wasting time. For example, if they're only looking at your verbal skills, you want to avoid wasting time